everyone and welcome with me the 40k Empress. We are going to talk about today the coverage of ENDYMION of Ghost of Yotei and what METATRON said about it. It's going to be very interesting, guys, and this is very important because METATRON is the opposite of many other creators that decide to say just a bit of news and then the rest of the video is their speculation but worded as the actual news, and thus leading to a lot of people being manipulated in believing different things about the current state of what is actually happening out there in the gaming world or in the movie or whatever world. And yeah, some of those things could be true, but some of those things are just imaginary, set to push an agenda as well, set to manipulate the audience, leaving behind real credibility and being genuine. And where is METATRON into all of this? Well, he is actually, in my opinion as a viewer as well, the most genuine YouTuber that I have ever seen. I have been watching him for a lot of time. He's always been completely honest. He did become a lot more entertaining with time, but keeping his integrity, expanding his team of academics, making sure that everything that he is saying is stated as facts to be checked and double triple checked, and where he's stating his opinion to be clear that this is his opinion, just what he thinks about particular topics. This is what I love. This is what I'm also doing. I want to present first the news as they are and then talk about it and make some educated guesses, but clearly guesses and clearly opinion, not presented and worded as though what I'm talking about after the news are actual facts. So that's why I'm using words like if this is true and all of those things. Now, ENDYMION is also doing that sometimes, but a lot of the times I have caught him and I have made videos about it as well. Especially when it comes to Warhammer, he is wording things in an extremely sensational way, and a lot of those times when he's talking about the news, then he seamlessly continues with his own opinion, but the way that he's doing it sounds like actual facts. You have to maybe watch some of those videos to understand this, and my videos to really showcase what he actually said and what is the difference between being honest and just reporting the news. What is like being manipulative and talking in the ways that you're actually sound like what you're saying is now the truth and not your opinion. You just have to be able to make the difference, guys. And METATRON, if you have not seen him before, please go and watch the full video that we are going to show now here. I'm going to show you just the part where he's talking about ENDYMION, because what ENDYMION did here is actually underlining a specific issue that is building up these days. And this issue has a lot to do with how the woke mind is conditioning a lot of people today to actually become sexist where they weren't before, and basically have an issue with female characters where previously you did not have any issues with female characters, but now apparently ENDYMION also has, because he's thinking that this is because of politics. And sometimes it is because of politics, sometimes it is wokeness, sometimes it's not about making a good game or good character, whether that be male or a female. Sometimes that is about pushing stupid stuff like we saw in other games this year as well. But before all the woke crap, guys, we had Lara Croft, we had Bayonetta, we had some characters in Resident Evil. I don't play Resident Evil that much, so I don't know all of them. But we had other female characters and they were never an issue. Male audiences also appreciate them and enjoy them. Do you think that mostly girls played Lara Croft, Tomb Raider? No, it was mostly men. And me, and some other girls before. But to say the actual truth, compared to games that are driven by male characters, there are not a lot of games that are female driven. There just aren't. Oh, there's also, of course, Horizon Zero Dawn and the Uncharted game spin-off with Chloe, which was pretty freaking solid. Of course, there's some other things in there in Uncharted that were kind kinda, but that's another topic. So we do have a mixture sometimes of true wokeness and non-wokeness. So not everything has to be woke. Now, the actress of Ghost of Yotei is a horrible activist. That's absolutely the stuff of nightmares. That does not mean that the game is going to be this way because of her, because she's playing the role. She's supposed to be an actress at the end of the day and freaking do her job, play the role. Do not mess around with your character and interjecting your personal agendas, beliefs into her. And I hope that they did not let her do that. There's so many other Asian actresses that are absolutely beautiful, amazing, and talented. I don't know why they picked her particularly, but let's not get ahead of myself. Let's listen to Metatron, and once again, please watch the full video because it's absolutely amazing and it's worth your time. The way that he is articulating himself, how he puts logic and meaning into everything that he's saying and backs it up with facts when that is needed. Metatron is absolutely solid and amazing. We just need Metatron on YouTube these days because how many other people are like Metatron? I will follow in his steps in terms of keeping truthfulness, integrity, and really say what is on my mind. Like truthfully being honest. That is how I have always been. But now I have the chance to expand upon that with all of those topics today and really contribute hopefully positively to everyone. So let's hear from Metatron.
Fellow YouTuber ENDYMION, and I'll be honest with you, I have no idea who he is, never watched any of his videos, I know nothing about this person. This is clearly not an attack, but his tweet went viral and everyone is mentioning it when it comes to this, so I am gonna read it too. And the tweet says, Ghost of Tsushima sequel stars a Japanese woman samurai warrior, because of course it does. They can't help themselves until every franchise that was built on masculinity is replaced by women. Ghost of Yotei is hopefully a smaller spin-off game, but if this is the true sequel, and this is the new main character over Jin Sakai, F that. So sick of the forced girl boss narrative, man. Right, this is nonsense. Like, this is nonsense, ENDYMION. Like, I understand the sentiment, believe me. Politically motivated girl bosses are annoying. But then again, Lara Croft, I mean, she can be pretty girl boss, but she's a 90s girl boss, and so I have no problems with that. There are plenty of games where we have women leads, but that doesn't mean that there is any activism when it comes to that. And I'll be honest with you, if it's a first-person game, I play as a guy, but if it's a third-person game, I usually create female characters when I have a choice, because I prefer to constantly stare at a woman's behind rather than a guy.
And that's so funny because I'm the same when it comes to male characters. That's why I prefer to play with guys, also because I enjoy seeing the strong man figure on the screen.
But that's just me. Once again, ENDYMION, this is not an attack on you, but I do want to underline that if there is one culture where a woman warrior would still be historically accurate, then it is the Japanese culture, because yes, they were extremely rare, but they did exist. So personally, I don't have a problem with that. Moreover, I can tell you for a fact that this is not a situation whereby Jin Sakai was swapped for a woman. This isn't a case of gender swap, because there are 3 centuries in between these two characters. Therefore, unless you want the Jin Sakai to be an immortal, then considering the setting, which to me is a fantastic choice by the way, Edo period is gonna be I'd rather have 2 games that give me a 14th century and a 17th century Japan, even if this means 2 completely different characters, because I enjoy the idea that now I own 2 video games that can, you know, today I want to live 1300s Japan, but tomorrow I want to play a little bit in the Edo period, and this being such different and divergent eras, and I would very much give up the idea of let's still play as Jin Sakai, because then it would be in the same era, and personally, I enjoy this way more. I personally expect this game to be a historically accurate, up to a certain point, a representation of Edo period Japan. So if they're gonna start having characters that push modern day political agendas, then yes, I'm gonna be pissed, because I'm like, that's not what Edo period Japanese people thought. I would very much resent it, and if that's what they're doing, I will not buy the game. I can tell you that much. With that being said, it's kind of too early to say. And even though as someone who absolutely hates the DI check boxes on all the games, and also when it comes to the idea of gender swapping, once again, if they set a game in ancient Rome, but they swap Julius Caesar for Julia Caesar, then yes, we're gonna have a problem. I'm gonna hate it, and I'm gonna be very ranty about it. But in this case, I don't really see it necessarily as that. And the reason why I think that's important to disconnect the art from the artist as much as you can, not with Shadman, whatever his name is. In that case, it's too far. No, I don't disconnect it there. But when it comes to people that are just expressing their free political takes, even if I may disagree 99% with what they say, I can disconnect the game from her. Also because let's remember that this game is not just her. Yes, there might be a couple of suits that I hate. We're going to talk about one of those, by the way, in a second. But there are also so many talented 3D artists and script writers and programmers and coders that she doesn't represent them. And I don't want to boycott a game that is also the work of all of those people that are innocent. They're doing nothing. And in fact, they're producing a game that perhaps is going to be fantastic. So let's see the game. Let's see if if the game is a platform to voice her politics. I'm gonna boycott it. I'm gonna be the head, the vanguard. I'll make a video, we'll get 1 million views. I'm gonna destroy it. But if the game doesn't do that, the simple fact that there is a sword woman, I have no problem with that. And that's not enough to call it woke or political injection, the same way as Bayonetta, Tomb Raider were not political just because you have... And I mean, Lara Croft can be pretty girl bossy, but it's in a non-political way, if you know what I mean. You do, right?
Hopefully. So, my thoughts, guys, are that firstly, yeah, the fact that the game features a woman on the cover and you're going to play with a woman is nothing new, and it does not have to be political like it was not before. Now, could it be political? Absolutely, it still could be, but the way that ENDYMION worded his tweet once again goes totally in line with how he is in general about all of the sensational titles and words used every time, because he wants this to be about politics only. Once again, maybe he's right, maybe he's right, but he's going to do the same thing. He's going to behave this way and talk in this manner, no matter if this is political or not, until proven otherwise. He's always going to push this agenda that everything is political. But once again, here is my point, coming back from the beginning of the video, and I said that this woke mindset conditions people. Maybe it did condition ENDYMION, and maybe, just maybe, he actually wants to push this on purpose while realizing that maybe this is not going to be political. So pushing it for the sake of views and attention, but actually not believing that the case could be thus, that this is all about gender politics in games and all of those things. The studio themselves before made a perfectly normal game without any crap. ENDYMION also reported on some news, and I think I read somewhere, but I'm not sure by this point, the rumors that the studio wanted to make Jim Sakai continuation game, but something happened and they decided to go with Yotei and this route. Who knows? And everything can change in the studio, whether that be a gaming studio or a movie studio, in any direction, whether that is political or not. They can still decide, absolutely non-politically, to switch to a female character. Now, this could make for a totally very compelling game as well. If the game continued with a male character, still a Yotei, and it was not Jin Sakai, everyone will complain a lot again. It is very similar. People still gonna complain. So the only way for people to not ever complain is if the studio decides to continue Jin's story like a few years later or whatever, which could be a very good thing. But once again, Ghost of Tsushima was supposed to talk about and just tell the story of Tsushima at this point in time. It is not like Assassin's Creed type of a series. It was just one game, and they didn't even know that that's gonna continue as a game. So they can go directly as a continuation, or they can decide to just do a totally different period, like 300 years. This Edo period is a lot more popular, and that is also a valid route to go towards, as long as the game is good. It doesn't really matter if it's with Jin or anyone else, if the game is really good. I personally don't care that much if I'm going to play with a guy when it comes to story-driven games like Ghost of Tsushima is in general, and how Ghost of Yotei is going to be. For me, seeing the female character, it's kind of refreshing once again, because I do not see this very often. Not because I'm a girl that I feel this way, but it is really because it's rare. It's still rare. It's still more rare than other games. And look at the Horizon Zero Dawn series. They're very successful, the two games. And people like them. Overall, they are positively viewed, and nobody's complaining that Aloy is a woman. We are all complaining that she looks worse than she did in the first game, which does look kinda intentional or ridiculous. But other than that, the problem is not that she's a woman. The problem is that actually they degraded her as a woman physically, which is an issue. I do see this when it comes to sexism and when it comes to racism, that if you previously were not a sexist or a racist, you could become one. You could, just because all of those politics are pushed on you in this aggressive manner, so imposing, so not natural, so not seamless. But before it was seamless, before we had diversity in any kind of a way, women, different races and games and all of that, and nobody said a beep because there were any problems. All the diversity was absolutely naturally interjected in a manner which made sense to the story. It went so well with the whole narrative. I think that Metatron is absolutely correct. We should not hate this game because the actress is totally crazy activist. We should give this game a try if it's still a good game and there are not woke stupid lines and woke stupid themes interjected in it. They should go with the period and present the period the way that it was. And also, like Metatron said, there were such women. They were rare, but they were such women, samurai, and that is super awesome. So why not see this? We never seen this before presented in a game. I would like to see this. And if a game is good, no one should have a problem whether the character is male or female. Really, no. But yeah, guys, just think for yourselves. Try not to be manipulated on either side. Just think if something is objective or not. Judge it on its own, separately, and see if you can spot what could be totally fake and disingenuous and what could be genuine, and what we have to wait and see the nature of. Love you guys. With me, the 40k Empress. Till next time, and if you'd like to support me, the links are down below to Patreon, PayPal. If you like to have an access to over 300 videos of fitness, health, nutrition, intimate relationships, coaching, I do that at OnlyFans, also posting my physique updates in a non-slaneshi warhammer term manner, meaning that everything is normal content. I'm using the site for good and not for, you know what, corn. So it's just also a good site to upload all kinds of content and talk. Really just things that help people that have issues in these areas of life. Love you guys. Bye bye.
You're pooping on this news. I am the one who makes up fake news in this imperium. Let the exaggeration to me.
What are your orders, Father? Fortify the gate with our based armies and call the Empress from the outside universe. I will go curse in the back. The 40k Empress teaches fitness, health, nutrition, and helps with your intimate relationships at OnlyFans. Yes, I know what you're thinking, but she doesn't use it for Slanesh things. Go there and let her help you with what you truly need. The link is down below in the description dimension. Go on, click the link. I'd know if you didn't. I see you.